Hello, welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Wednesday, May the 28th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room. Now, before I get into the trades that I actually took today, I just want to go over SPEX specs. If you saw the video yesterday, you know that I was hoping that by the end of the day, it would just poke above $3, and I was actually going to take the trade and hold it overnight. And now this is what it did in the post market yesterday. This is all post market trading, and it started to run away, and so didn't didn't look good for when I woke up this morning and I saw it already up at 419. In other words, what I was really hoping for, again, take the trade towards the end of the day when it was above 3, or hopefully first thing in the morning, not the pre-market though, that it would still be around the 3 level and I could take the trade. But as you can see, this is again the pre-market. It hit a high of 419 and it actually opened at 365. It had a sell-off in the pre-market and very choppy all day long. Didn't really, for me anyway, didn't present an opportunity to trade it. So kind of a wasted opportunity, I guess. But I will still look at it. Again, when I look at the daily chart, it still has maybe a little, 481 is now hit a high of 461 in the pre-market today, or sorry, it was 415, I guess, in the pre-market. So it still has a little bit of ways to go till it hits 469. If that would be some level of resistance, I guess. But I will watch it tomorrow. But today really was the day to get in on it, I guess. If I could have got in sometime in the post market or even not so much in the pre market, but certainly this is a little too choppy for me to trade. Now, before we talk about the trades that I took, another shout out to one of our posters, Paul. He called the away bounce very well today. Now, I think he called it right in this area here, okay? And so I think that he probably took the trade here. Now it did go down, but it was probably within his stop area. And then afterwards, it had a beautiful bounce. Now these are 2 minute candles, so it didn't really take that long, maybe 12 minutes or so before it had a very, very nice bounce. I know some in the room took the trade. I'm sure some got out right here, but maybe for a portion. Then if they were able to hold on, they could have traded it all the way up here. So a really good call out by Paul for away. Now I traded, actually, let me bring up SBGI first. I'm sorry, SBGL. I'm actually still in this trade. This is a short that I took at 991. It came from my daily watch list, and my daily watch list, you can see I was alerted to it at that the price was 10:03. I just want to back off this. I'm going to bring it out here. So the price was at 10:03. It was up in this area here, but I wanted to wait for it to go through the whole number. I was a little bit late in getting into it, though, I have to admit. But this is the reason why I liked it. You can see that it's had a bad few days, and once it broke down through 10, I thought it was a good shot that it could continue down. Now it seems to have found a level at 980, a little bit of resistance or support right there, but you can see that it could, in theory, get all the way down to $8. So I'm probably going to watch this again tomorrow, especially if as long as it holds under 9. Now, just a word about my watch list. What I'm going to do, last year I put on a webinar and it went over some of the things that I do to create watch lists for the next day. Basically, it was my evening scans, as I call them. Now, one of them is for my daily watch list. And I'm going to do a video that outlines it exactly what I do because the webinar kind of covered some of the basics, but it didn't go into the nuts and bolts. So I'm going to show you exactly what scan I use. I'm going to create it from scratch. Show you how I get the stocks that I want to look at. Then we're going to take a look at the stocks. We have to, once I have the list, I have to look on the charts to see what sort of support and resistance areas we're coming into. And after I look at the charts, then I'll have a list of stocks. So, if I see something that I like, I'll add it to, I'll write it down, and eventually I'll have a list of stocks. I create a symbol list. I put those symbols into that symbol list. And then I will put the symbol, I will create this watch list and I will add the symbol list to this watch list and then I'll monitor that watch list all day long and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm still in SPGL, so let's hope it keeps going down. You can see this is an interesting trade for me because, I mean, it's awfully boring. As I called it out in the room, it's awfully boring, maybe one of the most boring trades I've taken in a long time. But the fact of the matter is that even though it was only a couple of cents, I was positive, in positive territory on the trade. So I don't mind holding a stock all day long. As long as it, especially as a stock like this that has basically a 1 cent spread, so I didn't have to worry too much about it flipping up and down constantly. And so I'm just going to hold it and probably see what happens by the end of the day. Now, DG is a trade I took, and DG was a short trade that I got into. Took a look at the daily chart for DG, and you can see that today it has had it was trying to take out like this. This is the daily candle for it. So alerted to it on this basically this daily candle, which was trying to wipe out all this area here. So I took the trade as a short at 54.47. I got out half of it at 54.37, and then when it popped up, I got out the second half at 54.55. Excuse me, 54.45. So it did not work on the short side. However, we started watching it once it got past this level. I thought that it might give us a good opportunity to go long, and I really probably should have got in right here, but I didn't. But took the trade at 54.89 and hoping again that it would break through the whole number. But it didn't, and I got out sometime, I think it was around right here at 54.89 at basically a break even. And then we started watching it to see if it could go through that whole number with any conviction, but it didn't. You know, the whole number being 55, it really didn't. So sort of abandoned that trade. Now, the last trade I did was actually quite nice, WWAV. And I alerted the room to it right around this area here that I was watching it intensely actually because I like this little pullback and it came up here, another little pullback. So we're starting to make some higher lows here. And I eventually took the trade right here at 31.13. It was right around this time. And I was almost immediately rewarded. It had a beautiful, nice little candle here, but then two beauties. And I took half out at, actually on the first candle, I took half out at 31.38 and the second half at 31.50. So that trade actually only took maybe about 10 to 12 minutes. So that was a really nice one. Now, the last one I just want to show you. Now, this is not a trade that I took, but it's a new strategy that I'm looking at, and it's developed using the odds maker. It only gave me one alert today. Now, I didn't take the trade. I'm still kind of monitoring it. It doesn't have a lot of trades per day, maybe only 1 to 2 trades a day. But when I ran the odds maker on it, it looked really good. And so this is what happened with this particular one, and this is our GLD Royal Gold. And let me just bring it back in here. You can see the alert came in at 10.23 and the price was 58.91. So 58.91 is right in this area here, basically right at the bottom. So there was my alert. Certainly could have taken the trade here and sold at 59.64 for got out or in this area here, even if I'm not right at the top. But even if I had decided to sell some and try to hold on, definitely would have been a nice, very nice play. And it's interesting because this is a gold stock, and when I look at the gold shares, still at the bottom. Okay, so it's not like gold had to be doing something really, really good for this particular trade to bounce like it did. So very interesting to see what happens with this tomorrow, with this strategy tomorrow. So that's it for today. I'm sorry. One more thing I just want to talk about, or actually two more things. Two stocks you probably should be watching. And the first one is DARA, DARA. You can see tremendous day. Sorry, let me just bring it in here. Tremendous day. Sort of under exaggeration. Here's the daily candle for today. So you can see, I mean, it's just had a tremendous day, tremendous volume. I mean, this is, maybe trading 500,000 shares normally, and this has traded over 13 million shares so far. So I will watch it again tomorrow. It may have already, I mean, we're starting to run into some of the resistance up in this, maybe this area and this area, so it's not as clean. But for a $2 stock, even if it rose 30 cents, that would be a great percentage play. So I will certainly be watching this tomorrow. And the other one I'm going to be watching is CORT. And you can see why. Here, this is again the daily chart, and it's basically taken out all of this, and so it has a gap to fill. I mean, it's got a dollar to right to this bottom here, so definitely going to be watching this one tomorrow also. So that's DARA, DARA, and CORT. So that's it for today. Let me just bring up the cover sheet, and here again is the address to get into the room. And I hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow, which is Thursday.